damn. I'm glad y'all tuned in. We about to get the show started. Yeah. Dr. Clyde Winners and Yoshi. Yeah. Then and now. We talking about back in the day and right now. Yeah.
Now let's introduce Yoshima the Genius and Dr. Clyde Winters, the godfather of research.
What up, though? What? Ah!
Somebody out there looking for me, huh? Hey, Dr.
what up,
Clyde
what up,
Winters,
Yoshi?
baby. What's up, Doc? What's up?
You got it.
Good to see you.
What?
Good to see you.
Where can we find the mind, man?
The mind,
Yes.
the brain.
I didn't say the brain.
Hold on. Is the brain? See, I'm thinking the brain is the same thing as the mind, but I'm tripping, my man. Can you help me out, please? Because I don't know.
Well,
help me.
the mind, we don't know where the mind is. The mind could be up in space. The mind could be in your foot. We don't know where the mind is. We know where the brain is. That brain is that mechanism. That brain in a sense allows us to think. But the mind, that's kind of spooky, Captain.
Ooh, I know somebody that can kind of elaborate on this mind thing. What's up,
We got a guest?
We got a guest. We have a guest today. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? We have a guest.
Wow.
Brother Clyde Winters. What we gonna do here today?
We're gonna introduce this mind to the people.
Go for it, Dr. Clyde Winters.
G-I-J, comma J equals 0. Well, now, G-I-J, comma J equals 0. Hey, now, say it loud, louder and loud, let us all celebrate. G-I-J, comma J equals 0. Hey, now, G-I-J, comma J. We no beg, steal, or borrow. We bury Jim Crow under the ground. And we don't dig him up. This is the black man's time. Yes, this is the black man's time. Say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. Hey, yes, I'm here with you.
Love.
What up, though? Tell us about our guest, Yoshi.
Ooh, okay. Now, for you, those who don't know, that song is this brother right here, Sharara Raxton. And I am honored to have him with us today on Then and Now. And that, can y'all hear the kids? Can y'all close your eyes and see the visuals? Although I created the visuals, but y'all can close your eyes and visualize it. You can feel it. This brother is what I am, what Dr. Clyde Winters is. We are you. You are looking at your reflection right now.
Yes.
That is what you're looking at right now. So praises be high. I am high on God right now. High on Geiget. Now at the end, I mentioned Geiget. At the end, I seen a someone doing this. Now, yeah, Geiget. Now we got Dr. Clyde Winters, the greatest researcher on this planet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then we have Sharara Chosi. Say your name.
Shiwara.
Sharara Chosi.
Ochosi.
Chosi. You see? And this brother right here brings that vibe, that you can feel that essence in that music. He is, what you say you are, brother? Rasta.
Rastaman.
Rastaman, not Rastafari.
No.
Not
No.
Rastafarian. Brother is Rasta. So
Rasta.
we're talking pure. And then we have, Dr. Ebo, the greatest mathematician in this world for us. And we're here. And we're here to tell y'all, we are here and we need to protect the mind. Because that's what the show is about. The show is about, Dr. Clyde, you seen that thumbnail? Protect the mind, baby.
Yes.
Protect the mind.
It's very important because, see, we had to really admit the fact that the Caucasian has been able, at least in relation to the foundation of Black Americans, the Caucasian has been able to steal our culture, steal our history, and we don't even know who we are because he's been able to do that from a mental perspective, a mental thing. He's been able, in a sense, to play around with our mind. And this is kind of terrible. Shawara, can you tell us how to save our mind?
Please, Shawara.
Yes. I would rather say how our mind can save us.
Ooh. Whoa.
And the reason for that is because the mind doesn't need to be saved. The mind needs to be known and understood. The mind needs to be lived, need to be revered, need to be honored, need to be resuscitated. So I am Chihuahua, the harmonious unity of creation, defined. This is what the definition of Chihuahua is. So as a manifest being, I am sent by myself here to resuscitate the harmonious unity that is naturally occurring throughout creation and all living things. So to understand how we can weather this thing that they say is coming, which is kind of ludicrous, but because there's nothing coming, everything is already here. The mind is here, been here, and always have been here, and ain't going to go nowhere. And whoever's talking about something is coming, they'll be gone before the mind goes. We're all a part of the mind. We all share the mind. Not only human beings, but all of life itself shares the mind. The mind is that part that balances all things. It's the most diverse element that there is. We can take the word mind and replace it with God. We can take the word God and replace it with mind. We can take the word God and mind and replace it with energy. So we are here to save ourselves and not the mind.
Shay, Brother Raxton got it, man. Come on, man.
I can continue on, like I said before, for those who may be Rastas and are listening and say, what is this man talking about? Yes, I'm a Rasta man. I'm not a Rastafarian. I'm just a Rasta man. I'm not Rastafari.
What's the difference?
Well, Rastafarian is the world created that. I didn't create Rastafarian. I'm a Rasta man. I'm a one that lives that which the world believes in, but I'm not living it. To know, it is written in their book, the Dogma. In Israel is his name great. In Judah, he is known. So I'm more of the known part of that statement. While the rest of the world is in the belief. That's why it's so important for you to believe that Jesus is your Lord and Savior, to believe it. That's why it's so important for the religions to have a belief system, and it's not really based on a knowledge system. The knowing is what is more important than the believing, because the believing has a tendency to shift if it is not in line with the knowing, and the knowing is in line with the truth and fact. So the knowing only develops and advances to its highest mind consciousness, the divine state of existence, the divine state of being, the divine state of man. So I'm a Rasta man, and I'm on that journey of the divinity. I'm here to know, not to believe. I'm here to find the truth, not to be entangled in ignorance and falsehood. And those who do desire ignorance and falsehood, they have every right to do it. I'm a Rasta man, so I'm not here to fight against the ways of others. We are here to live the way. Others may not want to live the way, and they have a right not to live the way if they choose to, but they don't have a right to stop those who choose to live the way. They don't have a right to stop them from living the way. It's simple, so, and they can't talk about there's not enough space. Because, come on, if man can go to outer space, so they claim, and if man can go down to the depths of the ocean, and man can travel throughout this earth, then why can't I live in the way and you live in outside of the way if that's what you choose? And why do we have to fight about it? See, it doesn't make sense. The mind is like telling you, what are you doing? You can do what you want to do. I'm big enough for everybody. No, everybody shares the mind. The mind is not a place where it's limited space. The brain may be limited, but not the mind. The mind is unlimited. It's limitless. So yes, I'm a Rasta man. I'm not Rastafari, because Rastafari is His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie, Emperor of Ethiopia, King of Kings, Lord of Lords, conquering Lion of Judah. That's Rastafari, because he is Rastafari who was found worthy to ascend to the throne of the Solomonic dynasty and sit upon that throne. It is a very simple reality. History has it already chronicled and recorded. National Geographic carries the coronation of Rastafari Makonnen, aka Rastafari Makonnen, and all of the works that he had done prior to becoming the emperor is also documented in Ethiopian history and world history. And what he did as emperor is also documented in world history and Ethiopian history. So how could I be Rastafari? I cannot be Rastafari. I can only be one that says, I see him. I see him. Yeah, he's the one that was written about in the Bible. Yeah, he's in Revelation. I see him. He carries the title. He's from the line and the root of David. Okay, so yes, that is the man, everybody. So those who believe and those who had the knowledge, the competence to read and understand that, yes, he's in the Bible, King of Kings, Lord of Lords, conquering Lion of Judah, of the root of the line of David, and then look in history, record history in coronation, and view the footage of his coronation, and view the writings, and listen to his words, and how he lived as an emperor, and how he went into the League of Nations and prophesied that today Europe, and today Ethiopia, tomorrow the world, and shortly after that Europe was engulfed in war, and all these things. So I am not Rastafari. I am one who identified Rastafari, because Marcus Garvey said, look to Africa, where there will be a black king crown, and on that day this will be a sign of our redemption. He didn't say he would be our redemption. He said it would be a sign. Mm-hmm. And so I'm just here to declare the truth of the fact. And then I'm going to go beyond that and say I'm here to live the truth of the fact. Because declaring it is not enough.
Why is living truth important? Because some people feel they can just talk to ish. They can be regurgitators. Why is living the truth important?
I love you, brother. Dr. Winters for asking that question. Because I thought about that question, and in my research to prepare for this moment that we're having here now, because it's but a moment, the answer that came to me out of my natural being was the truth is important because that's what the mind feeds on. The mind is fed by truth. And what is truth? Truth is a vanguard and protector of righteousness, of culture, of tradition. Without truth, no culture or tradition can ever stand and maintain itself throughout the eons of time. And our people, the so-called black race, is the only race that is have that capability. Because we embody the truth, and that makes us strong. That makes us the strongest. That makes us the chosen. That makes us the superior, without a negative connotation on superior. Because superior is not a negative thing. Superior means that your intelligence is a working reality and not a facsimile of Jim Crow and other such systems like colonialism and imperialism. Intelligence is a facsimile of those things. Those systems are a facsimile of intelligence. I have nothing against capitalism and imperialism and colonialism. I have nothing against it. Why would I fight? I fought it by living, by triumphing, by surviving. And that was based on my ancestral DNA and its cultural its cultural truth and reality, which extends outside of the body over 10 billion miles long into the cosmic universe. So there's no need for me to fight against colonialism. Why? You know, the man who's a colonialist have a right to be a colonialist if that's what he should choose to do. But he doesn't have the right to come over here and colonize me. However, I don't have the right to stop him from being himself, but I do have the right for defending myself. Our ancestors were our ancestors, I ain't even gonna say were. Those that came before us are a very intelligent people. They were so intelligent that they devised a way to lock into our chromosomal DNA the system of truth. That's what kept us throughout the enslavement of our people in the South of America, throughout the Americas, and throughout the world. The Berlin Conference and all these other little things, they fit into the equation of the enslavement of our people. Because we are the Aboriginal and indigenous people of the whole entire planet. No matter what nation you go into, we are the original people of those nations. Whether it's Scotland, whether it's Wales, whether it's Australia, whether it's Jerusalem, whether it's, I don't care what nation, whether it's China, whether it's Japan, I don't care what nation you go to, when you go forward to the beginning, because I say forward to the beginning and not back to the beginning, because you can't go back to the beginning, you can only go forward to the beginning. Because there's no backward movement of time or space or information. Information is not a backward element, it's a forward element. It's innovation. We have to live the information because we're made of energy, we're made of time, and we're made of information.
How you doing, Tony Moore? What up, Quake 8791?
Yeah, what's
hey,
up?
Talbert. Melvin Reed, what up, though?
What's up?
You know,
y'all in there, man? What's up,
you know,
Project? What's
Robert,
up?
Yeah, what you guys, what's going on? You know, this is a very interesting. Paige tells us, say my mom taught school with one of his sons in Trenton, New Jersey, and mentions this today. All right now, spreading the knowledge. Listen, family. This is why it's so important for fathers to relate to their sons. This is why it's so important for fathers to relate. You know, when I was growing up, nobody hardly had grandfathers, you know, except the boule. The grassroots like me, our grandfathers, they got killed down there playing dice and getting drunk and fighting and down south. But you know, the boule, they had a granddaddy. I didn't know my granddaddy. I heard about him. Very good man. I was named after him. But you know, but we didn't have grandfathers, and that's why it's so wonderful. It's so wonderful when we got a brother here, Shawara, who's spreading the knowledge, who's teaching us in a sense that we do have elders. We didn't know what an elder was back in the day.
Right.
Except grandma and auntie. Those were the only elders I knew about. But now we got black men, we got black warriors, we got people who are trying to spread and tell us the truth, because see, the truth is a hard pill to swallow.
How many of y'all out there that separated the artist from who they are behind the art? How many of y'all didn't link the artist and the music together? How many of y'all have been brainwashed to say the art is different from the artist?
Mostly everybody,
and that is the problem.
Also, many of them have said that the message is different from the messenger.
I've been told
Because I'm going to tell you something.
I've been told by that. Yeah,
a messenger has to be worthy to carry the message.
Thank you.
So you can't separate the messenger from the message. And so a lot of people that are coming out there saying they're the messenger. And then when you get the message and people are happy, they love the message, you know, the message is a fire. But then when they look at the messenger, he's not reflecting the message that he bringing. That's rude and disrespectful. In the eyes of the universe, that is an abomination. That is an uneven balance. You don't do that. You have to be the message as well as the messenger. Or if the message has no validity, you just devalue the whole message if you're living not the message. You just deliver the message, but I'm gonna be a heathen. You know.
That don't make sense.
No. So that's why I say I'm a Rasta man.
But you know, see that, you know, you're talking about being. See, being and living are two different things. See, a lot of people are living, a lot of people are alive, a lot of people are living, a lot of people are regurgitators. But when you're dealing with your being, when you're dealing with your existence and how you relate to the world, it's got to be for real. Do you agree or disagree?
I love you again, because you give me the challenge that I need for my soul to respond. The being has a duty. Being is involuntary. They took the word becoming and put the word existing in there. To exist. Once the being has arrived, existence no longer applies. Because the being is a being. So why the existence doesn't matter anymore, because everything becomes compulsory. As long as you are born and you're born free, so freedom is free. Not like they tell you that freedom isn't free. That's nonsense. You're born free. So the only thing now, the existence now, we have to look at becoming. What will the being become? And that's what we're calling existence. That process of becoming something, becoming what your purpose is, becoming what you were intentioned to be by the mind, by the energy, by God, by your essence, by your divine self. This is what becoming is. And so once we understand that as beings, that we came here to become something, and the culture coincides and responds to the being, And that's why our ancestors never poured things into our children. They didn't pour things in. We pulled things out of them. Because they came with everything necessary and everything that was needed for quote unquote misnomer, aka existing. Because we don't exist. We are immortal. In truth, we are immortal beings. It's hard to believe that because we know that we will die, but that death is not death as we have been defined by. That death is nothing more than a transition. The human body at the time of death now becomes what? The new placenta. This is the disconnection from what we call existence. There has to be a placenta. When the child was born of his mother's womb, what was left? What was the second birth? The birth of the placenta. His other world, the world in which he or she had been in for 9 months or prior to even in the conception of the minds of the mother and father, created this placenta. So when the child borns, it steps into the earth and it begins its new life. But it is not that it took life, it's that life took him.
You know, this is so deep, Warren. This is so deep. You know, this is what makes it so deep is that family. Do you know that doctors are out there trying to steal your placenta? Mm-hmm. They want to hold on to your placenta because they know the importance. They know the importance of the placenta. You know, Rena says, "Hi, brother Shawara, chosen. This is Sister Rena. The message is fire. Yes, the message is fire because this is a Rastaman. He's not a Rastafari. No Rastafari. He's a Rastaman. And this is very important. Wara, let me know when you want to do your slide presentation.
I'm telling you, man, this is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad. So I'm flowing, and I'm flowing. Okay, let me do the slide presentation right now so we can get that out the way real quick. I'm not going to be elaborate. First, let me do, yes, the body. We're talking about the anatomy and physiology of the body.
Let me interrupt you for a minute, Wara. Tell me when to move. Tell me when to go to the next slide.
I shall.
Okay.
This is the introduction. So this is the introduction right here on what we're doing. Yeah.
We're dealing with what we call, we are protecting the mind. To protect the mind by protecting the brain. Mm-hmm. So in order to do that, we got to go through some things real quick. That's basic. We need to know these things. Many of us live in our bodies all our lives, and we don't know anything about our bodies. Disclaimer, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a a disruptor of society to destabilize systems and societies. I'm a peaceful and a loving man. I'm here to bring forth insight and inspiration to all those who are seeking insight and inspiration, those who are seeking truth. And so this is why I'm here. Those who are disturbed by what I say, I sincerely apologize because the foundation of what I'm saying has nothing to do with the disturbance of anyone. And I would suggest maybe do a little more introspect, or you say a shadow work on yourselves and work things out. Has nothing to do with me and what I'm saying. What I'm saying is a part of the natural knowledge of what's in the universities and et cetera, et cetera. I'm just giving you my insight and my take on things from my bona fide position. I say bona fide because I live the consciousness that I'm speaking of. Anatomy and physiology of the temple. The temple is your body. The Bible says, know ye not that ye are the temples of the living God. So right there, that substantiates what I'm saying, that the body is the temple and the temple is the body. Not the church that you go to, not the Baptist, not the Anglican, not the Muslim, not the Buddhist, not the Hindu, none of that. Those are different. Those are for different people. You have to understand we're coming straight to the essence of what we're talking about. Now, what aspect of the anatomy and physiology works the mind?
Go to the next one, Dr. Clyde.
Yes, that's the next one there. What aspect works the mind? Okay. The 6 quadrants Okay.
Yeah, you see, I
All
got
right.
Yoshi did
Okay.
this, y'all. Yoshi did
Yeah.
this, so yeah.
Bear with me a little bit. This is all
Right, right.
new.
Go through the 9 right now. As far
Okay.
as just talk, just tell us the
Hold on.
titles
Hold on.
of them, and then right after that, you can go 1 through 9. After that, like really go in
Okay, hold
depth
on.
with it. Yeah, this is
Okay, so
tight.
we're gonna do
What's up?
the aspects. Well, okay. The brain works the mind.
Hmm.
Let me. I got to pull up some stuff. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Bear with me a moment.
Go for it, Dr. Clyde. Go to the next 2 slides. It'll start off as 1. Perfect. Yes, perfect.
Let's see where I go here. Shoot.
Man, Dr. Clyde, a professional, y'all. Let's get it. He be saying he don't know this computer stuff. Dr. Clyde be working it, man.
Okay. Okay. Let me go back over here. Okay. Okay. Let me see. I have to.
Slides, Wara.
Huh?
Can you see the slides? I'm at number 1. What aspect of the
I can see it. I can see it, but there's certain things I have to pull up,
Oh, okay.
to substantiate what I'm saying.
Perfect.
Okay. Anyway, I don't want to burn up too much time trying to. Okay. 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 The basic function of the mind. Let me go over here and see. We're talking about what aspect of the AP works the mind. Okay. The basic function of the mind is it has some basic functions like thinking, feeling, wanting. The mind is also associated with experiencing, perception, pleasure, and pain, belief, desire, intention, and emotion. So these things are what the mind will experience. But understand that the experience of the mind is because of you, the being. And this goes back to when Christ says, I am that I am. They never explain to you what the I am really is. The I am is saying, I'm a being. That's what I am. All the other stuff I'm connected to. I am the one that makes the mind feel, that makes the mind understand pain, belief, desire. All those comes out of the being. The I am is the foundation of your life, of your soul, of who you are. When people talk about does God exist? I am. So what else? You can't prove energy. Energy is energy. So this is the I am. So the mind is that I am that everybody partakes in. The brain is the most complex piece of equipment that is ever built. The brain, the brain it feeds, it needs nourishment. It needs certain things like iron and B12 and D and zinc. It needs these essential things like folates. It needs those things because if it doesn't get those things, then certain things will begin to happen, like depression, and then altered states of your cognitive mind becomes altered. You can't remember nothing. You can't, dementia, Alzheimer, all of these things come in. And there are certain foods that promote the destruction of the brain to disturb the mind. And when you look at the ingredients in most of the food out there in the stores, you will find that it has these saturated fats. And your body needs more, the brain needs more omega-3 fatty acids and stuff like that. So like I said, I'm not a medical person per se, so I'm just trying to brush on certain things on the neophyte side, the student side. So I want to break it down to simply things, why it's so important to read ingredients on packages. And I'm talking about read it for real. Just don't go by how the stuff tastes. because read what's in it, because that's what's going into your body. You know, they have some stuff in there that got bioengineered ingredients. They have artificial color, artificial flavors. You have to ask yourself, is there any aspect of my being that is artificial? Because if there are aspects of your being that is artificial, then therefore, by all means, consume artificial things. You need it, because you're also artificial. You got to feed that artificial part of yourself. But, you know, to be honest and be truthful, nobody's going to say, yes, there's a part of me that's artificial. No, you're not artificial. So why taking artificial stuff? Taking natural nutrients, natural ingredients that'll keep your brain functioning so that your mind can operate in the manner it ought to operate. So those are the nutrients that it needs. It needs certain nutrients, you know, like omega-3 berries, vitamin K, B, the B vitamins, nuts, magnesium, vitamin D, get that from the sunlight, green leafy vegetables, vitamin E, and stuff like that. So you need those things. I'm going to run through this kind of fast.
All right, what is let's go to number 2, the purpose of the mind.
Yeah, that goes back to what
exactly
what Dr. Clyde said. The purpose of the mind is to absorb truth. The purpose of the mind is to navigate the vessel. The mind does that. The brain houses the mind. The mind and the brain is one. There's a cohesion. The mind and the brain must work together as one. The seat of the mind is the heart. Is the heart. They call it the intuition. That's the seat of the mind. And the brain is what we use out here to calculate, you know. So you have to be, you know, the brain is like the calculator. It needs that nourishment. So you know, you got to have a healthy body to have a healthy mind. So the physical body houses the spiritual body, the soul. Just now, the brain houses the mind. It comes through. The mind sends things to the brain, and the brain sends things to the mind. So we're transmitters, okay? And we're transmitters and we're receivers, because we're electrical in nature. We are actually an electrical component that has mechanical abilities, you know, like movement is all mechanical, stuff like that. So let me see the next slide. The 6 quadrants, all right? Now, the 6 quadrants is what we need to really get a grip on and understand. The 6 quadrants function. You have the quadrants are broken up into axillary and appendicular skeletal system. It's really a skeletal system, a system of bones. Human body has 206 bones. These bones are divided into 2 main parts, the appendicular skeleton and the axial skeleton. Your axial skeleton is made up of the bones along your vertebral axis. Axial comes from the word axis, which means line. The bones line up along the central core of the body. So the actual body is the bones in the head, the neck, the back, and the chest. Now your mind, which your brain is what accommodates the mind. The brain is connected to what? Your spinal column, which is in your head. Your brain is in your cranial. And so your brain now is managing these bones. The appendicular skeleton is made up of everything else. So the axial is the bones of the head, the neck, back, and chest. And the appendicular skeleton is made up of everything else, the bones that attach to your axial skeleton. Your appendicular skeleton includes the bone in your shoulders, your pelvis, your limbs, including your arms and your legs and feet. Now, why is this important? This is important because this is where your consciousness has to be connected. It has to be connected at that point. at those 6 quadrants, at those 2 areas, the axial and appendicular, your mind and your brain has to be connected at all times. So when you simply reach over to get your spoon, understand, be connected. You have to be 100% at home within your body. You can't be 99%. You got to be 100% there. Okay, so these are the things that has to be connected. The 6 quadrants, when you run, when you walk, when you sit. You ever see some people sit down and they just throw themselves down into the chair? That's because they're not connected. They're not connected. They're disconnected. They have to sit down. It has to be a purposeful thing. You have to stand up. As you're walking, you have to step. Know that your knee must bend, that your ankles must work, and your hips must work. You have to move these areas of your body, and you have to walk properly. So that as you grow in age, those body systems continue to stay connected, continue to stay moving, continue to do what it has to do, because it was built for that. Okay, go to the next slide. Where do we live? Okay, we live inside the body. We don't live in the house. We don't live in the car. We don't live in our shoes. We don't live in our trousers or our dress. We don't live in our wardrobe. We live inside the physical body that came out of your mother's womb, naked. The naked truth. You came out the naked truth. That's where you live. You live inside of that. You came into the world. You don't live in the world. You are the world. You are the world. That's why they wrote that song back with Quincy Jones. And we are the world. We are the children. You know, everybody's familiar with that tune. But that tune was a thing to trick the people. Understand that you live inside yourself. You must live there 99%, 100% of the time. Know that that's where you live. Know that you do not live in that house or at that address or in the particular community or neighborhood or town or city or nation or planet. You live inside this physical being that was born, and you have never left there. When you leave your house, you're still at home. When you leave your job, you're still at home. As you're traveling down the street, you're at home. So understand that you can't be at home 50% of the time, 3/4 of the time, 99.9% of the time. You have to be there 100% of the time. And then you operate from that standpoint. It's the same as being connected to your appendicular and axillary body. You know, being connected to those portions that is your connection to your quadrants is the same as being connected to those areas of your anatomy. You have to be 100% inside of yourself. Inside of yourself. You know, you can't be no time outside of that. So you go to the next slide, please. Now, we need to understand that when you're in these areas of the anatomy, you're in your axial skeleton, and then you're in your appendicular skeleton, and you're there 100% of the time, and you are inside of your body. Your consciousness is inside of your body 100% of the time. Now, we're talking about control now. Self-control. When you have self-control, this is literal. When you have self-control, you then control everything that you claim to be your world. You are in control of it all. It was what's his name? Solomon said something. Solomon said in the Bible, it says, a man without self-control is like a city broken into and left without walls. I can state that another way. A man without self-control is like a nation broken, or a people broken into and left without walls. So in other words, if you ain't got no walls, you're just a desolate, you're desolation, you've been destroyed. So self-control is what keeps you and preserves you. How to control all things is to control yourself. How to control yourself is to be 100% within yourself and have control of all your quadrants, all your bones. Your skeletal system belongs to you. However you move, that's how you move. You just moving. And you're there. You're conscious of it. You're not just moving your body, twerking and carrying on. You don't know what you're doing. You're just excited about what. No, your consciousness is in your shoulder. Your consciousness is in your elbow. Your consciousness is in your midsection, your core energy. Your consciousness is in your feet and your ankles. You are there. You are there. That way you're going to be able to control everything in your world, because you are the world, not the world outside as we've been told and led to believe. It says in the scriptures, the earth belongs to the Lord and the fullness thereof. And we know what that means, creation itself. And then it goes on to say, the world and they that dwells therein. The word dwell can be changed and be put in the word live, because to dwell is to live. Where do you dwell? Where is your dwelling? It's like I'm asking, where do you live? Where do you live? So where do we live? As I've said before, we live inside the body. That is 100% our home. No other place on this earth is our home but this body. And it was built by God. The energy, it was built by that energy. It was built by the universal mind, the great spirit, whatever you want to call it, God, creator. These are just terms and facsimiles of what it is, because they can't define it. It's a phenomenon undefinable and undescribable. So to control all things is to control yourself. If you allow another man to think for you, then you have no control over yourself. Therefore, you have no control over nothing. If you allow another people to feed you, then you have no control over your health. If you allow another people to house you, then you have no control of your dwelling, of your residency, because they tell you where you're gonna go stay, where you're gonna stay at, and where you're not gonna stay at. So self-control gives you everything, and along with self-control comes self-discipline, because self-discipline allows you to decide where you're going to live and where you're not going to live, because that's the discipline. Like, I want to be a doctor, that's a discipline. I want to be a lawyer, that's a discipline. I want to be a construction worker, that's a discipline. I want to be a mathematician, I want to be a brain surgeon. These are disciplines. So self-control leads to self-discipline. Self-control leads to you controlling your world and everything around your world. Self-discipline determines the things that you desire and want, and will you get it or will you not? If you have no discipline, you cannot achieve what the things you desire to have. Discipline is what gives you things and what puts you in places. Like, if I want to be the president, then you have to have the discipline to become the president. So these are the two things that is the most important thing to you who are living on the inside. So it said the earth belongs to the Lord and the fullness thereof, the world and they that dwell therein. So the world and they that dwell therein. So that means if you're not in the world, which is your body is the world. So if there's a quadrillion people on the earth, then there's a quadrillion worlds on the earth. And the earth itself is another world. But the people are the world in that statement that is being spoken of. Just like Christ say that the church is built on one of his disciples that said, you are the Messiah. He said, I'll build my church right there. On you. It's a code word for telling you that the church is not a building, but the church is an individual, is your very being. Know ye not that ye are the temples of the living God? This is written in the Christian dogma. I'm not a Christian, I'm not a Muslim, I'm not a Buddhist, I'm not a Hindu, but I'm all of them. And that is true reality of what I'm telling you. That's why I'm a Rastaman, because I am a part of everything that is called religion. I am there because without my spirit, they cannot exist. My religion is life. My culture is life, and my tradition is life. The religion of a Rastaman, a bona fide Rastaman, is life. The culture of a Rastaman is life. The tradition of a Rastaman is life. Without life, there is no Islam, there is no Christianity, there's no Judaism, there's no thing called religion. So, next slide. Who and what is God? Okay, let me get to this. Give me 2 seconds. Who and what is God? Is this it? Okay. Oh boy. Let me see. Okay. Energy. Energy is defined as the strength and vitality and vitality required to sustain physical or mental activity. This is energy. Energy is also seen as, in physics, the capacity for doing work. It may exist in potential, kinetic energy, thermal, electrical, chemical, nuclear, or other various forms. There are, moreover, heat and work, etc. Okay, energy, noun and plural of energies, the capacity for vigorous activity, available power. You know, I eat chocolate to get quick energy, an adequate or abundant amount of such power, it seems. See, so you understand, you eat the food, it goes into you, your body breaks it down, converts it into another form of it. The food itself is an energy, but your body breaks it down to another form of energy, and then it uses it to give you muscles and your bones and your other aspects what it needs in order to do what it got to do. It got to move a big old table, but I'm hungry, I don't have the energy. You eat some food, all of a sudden you got the energy and you go do it. So energy is like that. It's also classified examples of energy, you know, and you can look at ways in science and energies and ability to do work, or heat, objects. That's energy. So energy cannot be created, nor can it be destroyed. And energy comes in many forms. And energy, with energy, other things comes into play, like force. You know, if I got to move something, there's a force that has to be applied to that object in order for that object to move, and for that force to exist, that force has to have energy. So, what is God? So we're gonna look at what is God, and just breaking down just a little bit in terms of the energy as it relates to the question of who and what is God. God is everything, because energy is everywhere, as the mind is everywhere. There's no place or space in which energy does not exist. There's no place or space in which the mind does not exist. So the mind is God and energy is God. Why is energy God? Well, God cannot be created, nor can God be destroyed. Energy cannot be created, nor energy destroyed. So therefore, what we are calling God is energy. What's the difference, though, between energy and God? God is like whatever you want God to be. If you want God to be that rock, but isn't that rock energy also? He came into existence by an energetic force applied to other particles in creation itself to finally create the rock, which piled up together becomes a mountain, and so on and so forth. I'm not a scientist, but you just got to think about it and open yourself up to truth. Who is God? Everything is God. Everything is God, and everything that is not is God, because everything that is not is, and everything that is not. You know, you look at a glass and it has nothing in it. It's empty. And we say the glass is empty, but it's not. It's filled. It's filled with molecules. It's filled with air. Inside of the air are atoms, molecules. So there's no such thing as emptiness. There's no such thing as, stillness. Everything is moving. So what is God and who is God? God is energy, and energy is God. God is the mind, and the mind is God. So, God is not Jesus Christ. But if Jesus Christ for you, then by all means, it is Jesus. God is Jesus Christ. If God is Allah to you, then by all means, God is Allah, because that is what you have chosen for God. And God is the most obedient in all of existence and all of life. So, what I'm saying as insight is not against what you believe in. A matter of fact, I am fortifying what you believe in. Just believe in it in the right and proper manner, and exercise in the right and proper manner. God is everything, and everything is God. There's no place or space where God is not. There's no place or space where energy does not exist. Energy is everywhere. In space, outer space, around you, all around you, in you, out of you, everywhere. God is everywhere. There's no place where God is not. And there's no place. And so I say that energy is God. Energy is God, and whatever energy produces is God. And one day I thought in the mind of my mother, and I thought in the mind of my father, and then I became a zygote connected to the walls of my mother's uterus, after being fertilized in a fallopian tube. And I'm constantly transferring and cell dividing. I'm energy. I'm coming from a place unknown to any of us until we come out after 9 months and step into the world. I'm still energy. I'm still growing. I'm still multiplying. I'm still moving. And I'm still God. And I can't be no less than God. And I can't be no more than God, because more than God doesn't exist, and less than God doesn't exist. Only thing exists is God. Only thing exists is energy. We are all energy. We eat energy. We defecate energy. We think our thoughts are energy. Everything is energy, and that is God. Energy is God, and God is energy. Next slide. Difference between being and becoming. As I said before, being is involuntary and becoming is voluntary. What do you want to become? My mother asked me. Raxton, what will you do with your life? My mother asked me. And many of us have asked our children that. Boy, what you going to do with your life? So you see, being is involuntary. You come, being a man is involuntary, because you're going to grow into becoming a man. You're going to grow into that. But when you're a man, that means you're taking up the responsibility of providing for yourself like your mother and father provided for you, protecting yourself like your mother and father protected you. You're going to be able, you're going to have to be able to love, receive love, and be loved. So you're going to have to be able to protect yourself, educate, teach yourself, and provide for yourself. All of that. Whatever mom and daddy used to do for me, when I'm able to do that for myself without the help of anyone, then I am a man and or a woman. But if I grow to be 25 and my mama's still taking care of me, and my daddy's still paying for my rent or buying me the car or paying for my car note and all this stuff, then I'm not a man yet. I'm not a man. So these are the things, and some people think because you have a baby, you a man, or you a mother because you become a mother, you a woman. No, because you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to become a wife and a husband, and then a mother and a father. Because what makes a mother is a father, and what makes a father is a mother. And then what makes them both a family is the offspring. So there's an order to things. So we're supposed to stay in order. The order is the balance. We are the zero. We are at zero. We maintain zero. Zero is energy. Zero is God. Zero is order. Zero is balance. Zero is mother and father and child. Zero is family. Zero is husband. Zero is wife. Zero is sons and daughter. And when we violate the order, then we have the uneven balance, which is an abomination unto the Lord, according to the Christian doctrine. So the difference between being and becoming is one is voluntary and one is involuntary. You know, the voluntary one is what we need to be more concerned with and pay attention to. That has to do with the connection of the different quadrants, has to do with the 100% being inside. That's the only way we're going to become. That has to do with the self-control and self-discipline. That's the becoming part. The being part is compulsory. You're going to get hair on your groin. You're going to get a beard. You're going to get hair under your arm. That's nothing. That's involuntary. It's just going to happen. But what are you doing in the meantime? And that's the becoming part. That's what society has destroyed from amongst us, our people, the black race, and amongst all other human beings on earth. We all need to wake up, no matter what your race, creed, or color is. Next slide. Next slide, please. How do we disconnect? Wow. How do we disconnect? We just disconnect. Simple. Your computer is acting up. It's not doing what it was programmed for. It's going crazy. You hitting keys and it's not responding. It's like some spirit or energy took over your computer. You're like, damn. What do? You disconnect. You're depressed. You're full of stress. Your nerves is bad. What do? Disconnect. How do you disconnect? You simply disconnect. There's no how to. It's like looking at a lion and say, how do I be a lion? You just be a lion. How do I be a black man? You just be a black man. How are we supposed to be Africans? How are we going to be African? Just be African. How are you going to be how do you be a human? Be a human. That's it. So how do we disconnect? Disconnection is a radical move. You disconnect, you unplug. That's what disconnect means. It simply means there's no elaboration on disconnect. You disconnect, you just disconnect. That's what you do. And if everybody understands the process of disconnection, then you're going to have all the support you need. People don't disconnect because they feel like they don't have the support. That's why people have mental issues. That's why there's mental health issues. Because people are afraid to disconnect, because if they disconnect, they're going to lose their job, they're going to lose their house, they're going to lose their car. Hell, look, you need to lose all of that. All of those things is what causing you to have the need to disconnect. If you connect to the devil and your life is giving you trouble, what do? Disconnect from the devil so that you can recalibrate yourself and become the being that God or the energy or your mind knows that it is. Next slide, please. How do we reconnect? Oh, yeah. There are techniques to reconnect. Disconnecting, like I said, it just means to disconnect. Stop eating artificial colors, artificial flavors. Just stop. Stop talking about, but it tastes so good. Then go and study. Find out what to eat. Learn how to forage. You know how I forage? I take my phone and I go to Google. And it has a thing on it that says there's a camera. I just see a plant and I say, oh, God, that plant look delicious. Like you can eat it. I put the camera on it and I take the picture, and the phone tells me what the plant is, what its name is, and if it's edible or not. And then I can go do deeper research and find out. That's how you disconnect. You disconnect like that. Now you're reconnecting by reconnect. What do you reconnect to? You're not going to reconnect to what you disconnected from. You're going to reconnect to the earth. You're going to reconnect to you're going to begin to love yourself more. You're going to be able to reconnect to yourself and find and take for a lot of these women, take all that false stuff off of you. The false eyelashes. What are you doing? You are given real eyelashes. If you don't like the length, then maybe there's something you need to study, what nutrients you may need so your eyelashes can grow. Is it realistic to have an eyelash out in front of you about a quarter mile long? No, that's not realistic. Your eyelash is not going to grow that long because it was never meant to grow that long. It wasn't created like that. So what are we reconnecting to? We're reconnecting to things that make sense. We're reconnecting to the earth. We're reconnecting to family. We're reconnecting to patience. We're reconnecting to loving ourselves. We're reconnecting by disconnecting from the mirror. We look at the mirror with, oh, this don't look right. This, no, I don't look right. And all of a sudden you're fixing yourself before you know it. You don't look right at all. And the more you do to yourself, the worse you look. Turn from the mirror. Look at your sister, your brother, and say, how do I look? And if your brother say, you look great, you know, and you say, you sure? Your brother's going to say yes. Your sister's going to say, your mother going to say, yeah. Your friends that truly love you and respect you going to tell you you look good. And they're going to be honest with you too. And when you look bad, they're going to tell you you look bad. But the people that tell you you look good when they know you look bad are not people that you need to be around. So you're going to reconnect to the truth. You reconnect to the earth, reconnect to breathing, learning how to breathe and to breathe properly. Just reconnecting to getting your proper sleep, restoring your sleep cycle, getting your melatonin and so on and so forth. Reconnect to truth. That's what you're going to reconnect to. Next slide.
Okay, we're going to take a little break, and we're going to take a little break and show some of the commercials. And so we'll go right back to your presentation in just a few minutes.
I think that about wraps it up.
No, hey, it's not wrapped up yet because I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to stop anything, but we just want to make sure in the sense that, some of the people, know what's going on. And
oh yeah, perfect. I'm talking about for me though. I think it's basically 9 things, but that's good, brother. Yes.
Okay.
Peace to Tons 5. Brother Tons 5. Man, the indigenous tribal jury. Y'all check him out. Brother is out of Florida. He is a phenomenon on the drums. The brother has a baby CD coming out for toddlers. I mean, he's doing so much. He's magnificent over there. Brother is fighting the fight. He's fighting it with giving us this jury, baby. So pick it up, y'all.
She got me reaching for the top on my tippy toes. Just got she messing with the chicken toes. Sister, go touch your heart, put it in a bowl. Shake the spirit one time, make it so. She gon' take me out of space into another zone. So the spirit, she ain't messing with the pretty hoes. Microwaves and cold outside her phone. Phone till they climb and smoking good on the drone. Call me just down with the cuz all up in the front. Quit a brush, she gon' drop it low to the floor. You know she liquid cold with the alchemy in the bowl. Drink me super sodas, the greatest I never told. She gon' get you right, you can sell it before you go.
Check him out. Get this jewelry, get this stuff, because this stuff is based upon our Aboriginal heritage. It's based upon reality. Tones Fire is getting it done, baby.
He's getting
we
it done.
We got to give him the support that he deserves.
And he did that music, y'all. Sister Andito, this is for all of everybody who is in my yacht and who knows to stay on code. This is for you, presented by Damage Control, Hip Hop's Damage Control. This is Sister Andito. Andito is a poet, y'all. She is a magnificent poet. And what she is going to do is she's going to wake them little girls up. She's going to wake them women up. She's going to wake the younger you up. She's going to wake the men up, wake the boys up. She's going to wake us up and slap us up and say, hey, you are celebration. You have something to celebrate about. You do not have to be in the dark and depressed and nobody loves you and you ain't got to go through all that. This is Sister Andito. Check it out, y'all. Thank you, Doc.
Much like Mother Nature herself, she possessed a deep love for all living things and the natural world. In a time when the people of Kemot faced a devastating drought, their land turning barren and lifeless, Sister Andito heard their cries for help. Moved by compassion, she undertook a miraculous transformation, becoming a resplendent sunflower. Wherever her roots touched the parched earth, water flowed forth as if by magic. As Sister Andito gracefully swayed through the land as a sunflower, life returned to Kemot. Rivers once dry began to flow again, and fields once withered turned lush and green. Her divine touch provided sustenance to people and animals alike, nourishing their bodies and spirits. Crops flourished, and joy returned to the land. The people of Kemot were overflowing with gratitude to her for the restoration of nature's beauty. They celebrated with music, dance, and jubilant feast. She wasn't just a goddess of nature, she was also a goddess of music and happiness. Sister Andito's music was a source of enchantment and healing. Often seen with a musical instrument known as a sistrum, she would join in their festivities, creating melodies that chased away sadness and brought forth joy. In the stories, her music possessed a magical quality that could mend wounded hearts and uplift weary souls. But Sister Andito's influence extended beyond her divine music. In the modern world, she has become a symbol of artistic prowess and a beacon of positive change. Her spoken word performances have left audiences in awe, earning her acclaim from coast to coast. Through her artistry, she tackles societal challenges, offering solutions that free minds and elevate humanity. As a painter, muralist, and fabric artist, Sister Andito's talents are boundless. Her multifaceted skills and unwavering dedication to uplifting humanity make her a true luminary in the world of art and culture. She reminds us all that true freedom comes from mastering oneself and embracing the harmony of nature, much like the radiant goddess she embodies. You can purchase her music using the link below.
You know, support our sister Andito. Buy her stuff. Come on, you gotta be supportive of your
Yes.
sister. You
Come
know.
on. That's Sister Andito, y'all, man. Look, she's for that album is right now on Gumroad. It's available now. It's also up on Spotify. You will catch the snippets to it. Y'all check that out and support her. Her name is Sister Andito. Okay? So y'all check her out for real, for real. She is, man, when y'all listen to that album, it will transform you. It will literally transform your life. Because she's for us, man. Remember how they say then and now, right? So back in the day, she was up there in that Kemet going hard, planting, making everything nourish. And now she's here today, making everything nourish again, once again.
Hey B1 family, I'm excited to tell you about something super special and educational. This Black History Month, Yoshimon has created an amazing collection of PDFs all about incredible Black inventors and their amazing achievements. Do you know about Mae Jemison, the first FBA woman astronaut? Or Percy Julian, who made groundbreaking discoveries in chemistry? These are just a couple of the amazing people you'll learn about in these PDFs. These PDFs are perfect for teachers, homeschooling parents, or anyone who loves learning. They're filled with fun facts and inspiring stories that make learning about Black history exciting. Only $3 for a journey through history with some of the most influential Black inventors and scientists. Just click the link in the description to grab your copies from Yoshimod's Gumroad store. And don't forget to check out Yoshimod's other amazing creations and music on Spotify. Let's learn, have fun, and celebrate Black history together.
Hey, I've just written a new book, History and Culture of the Black Aboriginals of America. Yes, I've written a new book. This book is called History and Culture of Afro-Americans. It's about the Aboriginal Americans. It's about the first people who inhabited America. Many people don't know about our great culture, this super culture that we created, but I discussed this book. In 489 pages, you'll find out so much information, great information, about, in a sense, what the Aboriginal foundational Black Americans did. You're going to see, in a sense, that Black people contributed much here. When the first Europeans got here, that's what they found. Yes, they found Black Aboriginals inhabiting the Americas. It was the Black Aboriginals that built this country. This is why you had to get my book. Get my book, History and Culture of the Aboriginal Blacks of the Americas. In this book, you will find out the truth. You will know what we created. You will know who we are. Get this book. Buy it now. Today is today. We need to homeschool our children due to white supremacy. In many states, education departments are passing laws to deny our children from learning the history of foundational Black Americans. Today, you can learn how to organize and teach your children in a homeschool in my book, A Guide to Homeschool Foundational Black Americans. You can use my book, History of Blacks in America from Prehistory to 1877, to teach our children their history here in the United States. You can use my book to teach world history. And this book I've written is called The World History of the Black World. This will teach your children about every black civilization in the world. Get this book. The time is now. Get these books to teach your children about.
If you're not going to speak up, you're the ones who do. If you're not going to speak up, you're the ones who do. If you're not going to speak up, you're the ones who do. If you're not going to speak up, you're the ones who do. Vampires, they prey on your fears and stay away. Vampires, they prey on your fears, control your atmosphere. Don't let them take your energy. Don't let them take control your atmosphere. I am you, control your atmosphere. Don't let them take your energy. It's a distraction away from me. I am you and you are me. If you're not going to speak up, you're the ones who do. If you're not going to speak up, you're the ones who do. If you're not going to speak up, you're the ones who do. If you're not going to speak up, you're the ones who do.
Hey, it's time for the Afrocentric Researcher course led by Dr. Clyde Winters. Join this course. The 15-week Afrocentric Researcher course will begin on April 16, 2024. It will last between 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. You can go to clyde98.gumroad.com/L/ to join the class. The Afrocentric Researcher course is vital. In this course, you will learn how to do research. It will help you to write and conduct research. You see, you're going to learn how to do research. You're going to learn how to interpret research literature. And you're going to learn how to write books and articles. Yes, books and articles. And you're going to learn how to use research data to improve your small business. Already, in a sense, many former students have begun to write articles and books that they published. You too can write these articles and books after you take my class. You can make a single payment of $599. You can go to clyde98.gumroad.com/L/ZBWRJR, or you can make monthly payments. Go to clyde98 Gumroad. Join me for my 15-week Afrocentric Researcher course. It's going to be the class that's going to help you to really be a success. It's going to start April 16, 2024, 7 to 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Join us. Join us in this class. Learn how to do research. It's up to you. Hi, family. Join us in our new Revealing Hidden Chapters of British Black History 6-week course, Part 2. The instructors are Dr. Clyde Winters and Sister Shanice. Join this important class. Learn more about British history. Learn about how it was blacks who were the first people to live in Britain. These black people, in a sense, were there. Join us the 29th of April. Unlike the hidden chapters of British African History Part 2, dive into your own investigative Black History course with Sister Shanice and Dr. Clyde Winters. Yes, it's time you join us. You join us and you're going to learn so much about the Black British, the Baradanacs, the people who ruled Britain for thousands of years. You can register at https://sistershanice.gumroad.com/L/HQXUS. This is a 6-week British course. You're going to learn about when Britain was African, the African Bronze Age, the African Anglo-Saxons, the Celts, the Black Vikings. All of this you're going to learn. Join this course. It starts Monday, the 29th of April, and it's going to last until the 3rd of June, 2024. Study fees for this course is £199. Yes, only £199. But if you join before April, it's only £149. Join us. Come and join this class. This class will be from 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. London time. In America, that'll be 1:30 p.m. Join us for this new Black British History course. Learn, join us. Register for this class at https://sistershanice.gumroad.com/L/HQXUS. Yes, join us to this important Black History class. This Black History class that will teach you everything you need to know about Black British history.
G-I-J, comma J, equals 0. Well, now, G-I-J, comma J, equals 0. Hey, now, say it loud, louder and loud, let us all celebrate. G-I-J, comma J, equals 0. Hey, now, G-I-J, comma J. We no beg, steal, or borrow. We bury Jim Crow under the ground. And we no dig him up. This is the black man's town. Yes, this is the black man's town. Say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. Hey, yes, I'm here to let you know.
We support Chirac, Shawara, and the thing is, this is that we're going to get back to that, and we're going to get back to his presentation. This is very important, and we just had a few commercials, but it's important to understand what we're here tonight to talk about. And what we're here to talk about tonight is that we're here to talk about the mind. We're here to talk about, how we can be effective in relationship to the mind. Did you want to continue, Aura?
Yes. Also, thank you so much. The commercials was very enlightening to me. Your work is extensive, and I'll get the direct. I was trying to write some of the stuff down, but I'll get the stuff directly from Yoshimad and yourself
Absolutely.
at a better time, because and we'll talk about on some other levels. Yes, the mind, again, we must bear in mind, is something that we share. We all are given the tools, though, in order to connect to the mind, and that is the brain. So because we share the mind, this is why it is so important for honesty and loyalty and for genuinely sincerity is so important, because we can do what we want with our brain, but with the mind, we can't trick the mind. The mind is infallible. It's so important that we do respect the mind. So the definition of basically what the brain is in fact, it's an actual organ that's within the cranial part of the structure of the being, the cranial cavity. And actually it's connected to the vertebral column, which is your spinal column. And it also, in the broader sense of itself, it is the origin of consciousness and mind. So consciousness and mind is one and the same. It's like consciousness is like, it's like mind is the loaf of bread and consciousness is the crumb that comes from that. Now, when the egg is fertilized in the fallopian tube of the woman, the soon-to-be mother, by the life force energy of the male, soon-to-be father, when it comes down into the uterus and attaches itself to the walls of the uterus to feed, it is in fact at that time a parasite. It's feeding off of the mother's womb, and she's prepared. It's a welcome parasite. It's like bad bacteria, good bacteria. Well, a child is good bacteria. It's a parasite, has to feed. The first organ that forms is called a brain stem. The brain stem. So that is the beginning of consciousness. The female being is creating this. She's built for that. She's doing this. Now, when that comes in and the mind formulates itself, we're talking about the divine consciousness now. The mind gives us a consciousness so that we can communicate with it via the brain.
Go to the next slide, Dr. Clyde.
Yeah.
I believe I talk about that, the brain and the mind. Yeah, so that's the brain.
No, go back one more time. Okay. Go back once. Yeah. So the mind is memory, remembrance, state of being remembered, thought, purpose, conscious, love, mind, intellect, and intention, memory, loving memory.
Now, Clyde, go up 2.
Yeah.
Go up 2. Up 2. Up. Go forward 2.
Oh, go forward. Okay.
Yeah, forward 2. I apologize.
Yeah.
I apologize. Yeah, right. Next one. One more. Right there. That's the mind. Perfect.
Now the mind.
Yeah.
Okay. So the mind, that which we feel it.
They're supposed to be which feel. Okay.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Yeah. The well, basically what I just said earlier on the one before you put this one in.
Perfect.
It's memory, loving memory. It's just so think of memory. And I have said before, me and Yoshimada in discussions, that when the churches talk about sin. And the Bible talks about forgetfulness. And well, forgetfulness is the only sin. When we forget who we are, when we forget where we come from, we forget God, when we forget that we are pure energy, that we are immortal, then we become prone to envy and jealousy and covetousness and all these other things interplays and comes into play because of our forgetfulness. Murder, trickery, these are what they're calling sins, and the church builds itself up on these sins when really there's just one sin, is forgetfulness. And to correct it, we need to remember. So the mind is that part of the brain that is responsible for memory. It does not forget anything. It's always there because mercy is always available. As long as we activate our goodness, then mercy will give us that opportunity to remember. And once we remember, some of us may lose it because of the sin, what forgetfulness brought to us, and the things that we've done within the state of forgetfulness. Some of us can't forgive ourselves. So we have to be able to forgive. All of that is because of the mind. The mind will help us to forgive. But we have to surrender. The surrender part is what the church is calling repentance. A lot of us don't understand the correlation between natural energy of evolution. You evolve from sin. You evolve from forgetfulness because you have a memory embedded inside of your chromosomal DNA, your immortal self, that allows you to remember, because it will always have the purity of yourself always will be available there for you. Nothing is destroyed. What this world and all the religions try to show us is that we're being destroyed, and it's built on a lot of fear and stuff. But these are natural progress of evolution of the human consciousness. You go through these things in order to become your divine self, your divine consciousness. So memory, loving memory, this is what the mind really does. It gets into that. It loves to remember, and true forgiveness, forgive yourself. You repent by forgiving yourself, by saying to yourself, I'm sorry, or, forgive me. A lot of people think repentance means going to church and testifying that you sinned and that's what they use to manipulate people. But if people are comfortable doing that and they feel like that's it, then they could do that. It's not a problem. But remember this, you can repent in front of people, but if you have not repent in front of yourself, you have not repented. Not in the true sense of repentance. Because after repentance, it must be seen in your behavior. Your behavior must reflect your sincerity. It's like a person going to be baptized, say they're going to change their life. They get baptized and they go back doing the same thing they've been doing. That's not true baptism. That's just in vision for the people. It's not real. Everything is predicated on the fact that change is inevitable, and it has to be sincere change. It can't be fake and phony change. And that is basically the fullness of to protect the mind. To sum it all up, to protect the mind, you must protect the brain. So when the baby is born, there's a spot in the center of the baby's head called I think they call it the mole, and it's usually soft when the baby is born, and it stays soft for a certain period of time. And as the child develops and matures, that part becomes harder and harder until it becomes a more solid and a solid piece. So we are trained in this society to protect the body, and we don't notice that we got to protect the brain. But you can't protect the brain without protecting the mind. So you can't let you're supposed to protect the child by not allowing them to be around certain energetic type of people dealing with certain things, keeping them out of certain, because they learn very quickly. They're sponges. They soak up everything. So what you want to do, you want to make sure you protect them. You yourself have to have discipline to not be around those type of people that think, you don't be around pedophiles. If you know these people are not trustworthy, you don't leave your children. They can't protect themselves. People leave their children to daycare centers. Why would you do that? Why would you trust strangers that you don't know to change your baby's soiled underwear? Why would you do that? Why have you broken out of the village? Why have you given up the aid of family? Why has family abandoned family and turned to strangers? You know, why the aunties and the brothers and the sisters that are home and the grandparents and so on and so forth, the family structure doing these things. And so, you know, when you protect the brain, you protect the mind, you have to protect the brain in its wholeness, not in its partiality, not the child's body. You putting the body to the daycare center. You don't even think about the brain, what effect that has on the brain. You know, why are you trying to get a little 1-year-old to learn how to read and write? They're too young. It's not necessary for you to do that. You do that at home. That's your responsibility. That's the responsibility of the mother and the father and the elder brothers and the elder sisters. You know, you do that. You know, nowadays teenagers, when we were young back in the days, you get a little 8-year-old would do things that an 8-year-old in American society per se have no idea how to do those things. You go to certain other countries that they call third world nations, you will find 9 and 10 and 12 and 15-year-olds with machine guns defending their nation, their country, their community. And people over here look at that like, oh, look at them little children. Yeah, meanwhile, over here in another society, the children are being abused, sex trafficked, and all that kind of stuff. So we have to protect not just from the physical harm, but also from, you know, intellectual harm. You know, we protect them from visual harm, protect them from audio harm, you know, protect them from everything, just keep them safe. That's our job, our profession as mothers and fathers. We're not parents. There's no such thing as a parent. That's a word that's created and is in control by the system or the governmental states that exist on earth. We're not parents. What is a parent? You know, you're either a mother or a father. You're either the mother and father for the child. I'm not the parent for the child. I'm the father for the child. This is the child's mother. We are the mother and father of the child. So words are very important, and how we use them is a form of protecting the mind or not protecting the mind. You know, we went over this, me and Yoshi, and we talked about the word nice, which means stupid and foolish and ignorant and not knowing and careless and clumsy. It's what the word actually means as far as the etymology of the word mean. So why would you, most people call it, you say everything is nice, 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 nice. They never use the word good. You know, they rarely use the word good, you know? And so, you know, when you look at that, you know, words have to be destroyed. If we are to protect our children, we're going to have to stop using certain words. We said stop calling our children kids, because they're not baby goats. And if you say that a child is a kid, then the mother is a goat and the father is a billy goat. And they behave like billy goats and kids. When you look at how our people are behaving today, they behave like animals. You know, so these are just things that we need to look at. And it may sound kind of, oh man, what are you talking about? You know, everybody know what we mean when we say kids, but why don't you just say what you mean? Why don't you say children? Why don't you say my son? Why you say my kid? Why don't you just say my son or my daughter or my child or my children? What's wrong with using the proper and correct terminology? These words carry energy. Energy is what? God. So you calling for a stupid God to govern your family and your household because everything is nice, 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 nice. Because God can be whatever you want. Now, God can be stupid if that's what you desire. God can be wise if that's what you desire. See, God doesn't exist like men think. And so this is why we have to be very, 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 very 100% within ourselves so that we can catch these little small nuances that's been put in to create a cohesion unto us and to to bond with us and to combine with us to take us from the progressive movement forward towards enlightenment and towards becoming the divine beings that we truly are. We use these words. These words have been thrown upon us like sir. You know, what is a sir? You know? And they say, well, you know, I'm just trying to show respect. You know, when I found out sir is an acronym for slave, I remain. So if it's an acronym for slave, I remain, because remember, you know, during the enslavement and the oppression, we addressed we couldn't address the slave master by his name. That would be disrespect. You might get a whooping within the inch of your life for calling him by his name. You had to say, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. And it was just an affirmation that you were a slave. Now, some people would say, oh, it don't mean that at all. Yeah, but, you know, this technology is such a way you have to do your research and investigation. It has to be pretty deep if you want to go down into the rabbit hole to find the truth. Is very, very, very deep, you know. And when you look at things, you have to be willing to go deep to do it, to go into it. I'm not a great researcher and anything. I just research enough to go down into myself and have the rest of it foretold to me by the master within me. I sit in conference at all times through contemplation, you know, and then I come out of contemplation. I may go to another source on the outside again to get confirmation of the contemplation. So it's a back and forth for me in terms of, but I get my sources from within most of the time, but it always coincides with what is actually in reality. You know, so we have to break it down. We have to change. We have to have a new faculty of mind. We have to incorporate the positiveness. And when we say positiveness, we're not talking about positive like as in ions, as in the energies that exist or floating around us, because those ions are opposites. In other words, we think in our minds that positive thinking and positive energy brings life. But when you look at it in terms of energy, positive energy dissipates life. It really works against life, while negative energy uplifts life and replenishes life and brightens life and refurbishes life. You know, the positive ions versus negative ions. You know, so in one sense, we're thinking being positive is such a great thing. But a lot of times positivity is very destructive and very corrosive. And so we have to learn to understand the balance the two and understand that positive is negative and negative is positive, and learn how to be an alchemist within even exchange of energy, depending on where you find yourself, what situation you find yourself confronting or in, and how you're going to maneuver or navigate through these different energies. Always remaining in honor, always remaining in the goodness of yourself, always releasing goodwill to your fellow being, whether the ethnicity is the same or not, whether your creed is the same or not, you know, whether it's your kith and kin or not. You know, we have to understand that we are beings that our family is much bigger than the flesh and blood family that we encounter here on earth. We have a relationship with all of the vegetation on earth. That's a part of our family. We have a relationship with all of the sea creatures. That's our family. We have a relationship with all of the creatures that fly in the air. That's our family. And we have a relationship with all of the molecules and the ions and the atoms that's floating around in the invisible realm. That's also our family. And when we begin to understand that, which that's what our people were doing eons and eons ago before we were so rudely disturbed by, you know, certain other beings that came into existence through evolution and shiftings and patterns that occur within the cosmos and the universe, you know, down to here affecting the earth, planetary shifts, and all these different things that occurred throughout time. But we were rudely interrupted. But now we're back on track because of Gij, comma J equals 0.
Ooh, what did you say? Repeat that again.
We're back on track because of God Almighty's grand unified theorem. Gij, comma J equals 0.
Ooh.
You know, that's why we are brought here. We have been given the license to utterly vanquish ignorance. You know, and so, you know, I feel it's an honor to be presented and to be able to have been presented Gargot, and to be presenting Gargot, because we no longer exist in a place where we are representing anything. We are not the presentation of those, or we're not the representation of those that came before us. We are the presentation of those who came before us. You know, so we are not those people. We don't anything. You know, we are presenters, we are manifestors. We are here to manifest, and we are manifesting. And there's nothing anyone can do about it, because they're not life. You know, they're not life. And we are.
They're not in movement. They in none. Huh? They in the waters of none. Still.
They're not energy at all. You know, they're, you know, I mean, you know, we are here to manifest goodness, manifest righteousness. You know, yes, you know, a lot of people say, well, you know, Rastaman, just peace and love, you know. Yeah, but peace and love is not all. It's not just that. We defend. We defend. If you don't stand for something, you fall for anything. We are those who stand and have always been standing. Marcus Garvey stood up. We come from Marcus Garvey. You know, like I said, you know, in this world they try to always reshape everything, re-engineer everything. So we stood up now as Garveyites and said, no more, Mr. Capitalist. We're not going to bow with you anymore. We're not going to live your life anymore. You do what you want to do, but we want no part of it. We wash our hands of it. And then, you know, Marcus is telling us, he's teaching, he's preaching, and he's going around the world and saying, you know, Africa. You know, Walter Rodney, Maurice Bishop. I mean, it goes on and on and on. This is not nothing new. You know, and so, you know, everything they do, they try to re-engineer it. And so now they re-engineer the Rasta man into Rastafarian, and they re-engineer the Rasta man into Rastafarianism. Now they re-engineer the Rasta man into to a religion. And when you look at the religion of the Rasta man, it's still Christianity. Well, we were already Christians. And we knew Christianity is not a matter, we needed a life to live. We need a life to live. We don't need a religion. We need a life to live, something we can share amongst ourselves, something that we can give to each other. Brotherhood. If there's brotherhood, then there's no starvation. If there's brotherhood, there's no homelessness. You mean to tell me this is America, and just as an example, it's not exclusive to America though. Everywhere you go, you got homeless people. Why? But you can go and send billions of dollars to support a war to destroy people that don't have nothing to do with your society. I look at that very strangely. It just doesn't make sense, you know? It has to make sense.
But you know, but see, you have to look at it from this perspective. You've already made 3 key points. Number 1, the mind is everywhere. Number 2, the body is the mind. Mm-hmm. And see, what we don't understand is that Europeans do not respect the body, because Europeans fear the body. Because see, Europeans feel that the body is separate from them. See, you have to understand is that you're talking about a connection between mind and body, which gives us a being. Whereas the European, in a sense, He says that there's no relationship between mind and body, that the mind is everything. But we know, in a sense, from the creation, God created us, and God said, "Aha! In the beginning there was the Word, and the Word was with man." But see, that's the whole problem, is that when you're dealing with a people that don't recognize that the body is the mind and the mind is the body, and therefore, in a sense, you also get the spirit. I think that's why they can separate love of mankind, as opposed, in a sense, because love of mankind means you have to love the body. But since they don't love the body, but they do love the mind, I think that's how they can divorce themselves from being able to share. What do you think about that?
Loving the mind means loving the mind means you are subject to God. Loving the body means you're subject to yourself. You know what I'm saying? So I see it the opposite. I see them loving the body and not the mind. I see them wanting the attributes of the mind, but they want to love the body. But they know that the body cannot live or exist without the mind. So they colonize the mind, like how to colonize the land to take the resources. Because the resource of the body is the mind. As Christ says in the Bible, he says, as of the body, it knows nothing. It's not aware that we're even in, that the mind is there. It's just a tool. When I use a knife and a fork to cut my food and eat it, the knife and the fork doesn't know I'm using it. It's not that type of an instrument. You know what I mean? It's made to cut. The knife is made to cut. So it does that only because I put my energy behind it. But it doesn't know. So the body doesn't even know that I'm in it. All it knows is that it must function. And it must function as it was created to do. So if I bend my elbow, the elbow don't know I'm bending it. It's the mind that's bending it. So other than that, take the mind out of the body is just sitting here like this. Like, I got my shirt on, but my shirt is not alive. But as long as it's on my body, it appears like it's alive. But the moment I take the shirt off and hold it up like this and let it go, it can't stand. But as long as it's on me, it can stand, it can sit, it can run, it can do all kinds of things. But it's still, what has happened to the Caucasians is many of them, not all of them, some of them have made the leap, have made the transition, made the evolution, because that's what we intended. Our righteous ancestors from eons ago intended for. We knew that all of them wouldn't go make it, but we knew that a certain percentage need to make it, because that was the level of civilization we were on. So we allowed them to receive a certain amount of information that would evolve into as close to being civilized as possible. And that's where we at now. We have reached that quota. There's a certain number of Caucasians that have now been redeemed through the barbarity and the barbarism of their natural self. And just a few of them left now that has to really be discarded. But they discard themselves. They think that somebody's coming to get them, but nobody's coming to get them. They've already gotten themselves. The law is fulfilling upon them. So, it's not, when people like myself come to speak and to talk, we're not really talking to those people. We're talking to only those who want to elevate. Those amongst us, that are the identity of ourselves, that want to elevate, that want to move forward, that want to be their highest mind consciousness. We don't need to destroy anything to go forward. We just need to go forward. And as we were speaking the other day, we said, out of mind, get them out of mind, out of sight. Where we're taught out of sight, out of mind. So sight is governed by the eyes, really. And also there's a certain mind. Sight also is in mind in a sense, because it's the mind that really sees. It's not the eyes. So, but when you say to the common man, out of sight, out of mind, he naturally thinks in the common mindset of eyes. not knowing that the eyes doesn't see anything. It's just the lens, and it's the brain, it's the mind that's actually doing the seeing and turning things right side up so we can see it. And when we see it, it's really upside down. The lens taking it upside down, but the mind turns it right side up. And all this different technical stuff when it comes to those people. They're professional people. I'm not those people. I'm just an observer, a witness. And so the truth of the matter is, we're here to exercise our mind. And when we exercise our mind, which we have a right to, it's called self-determination, self-reliance, and self-sufficiency. It's not against anybody. It's for you. You have that right to stand up if you wish to, and sit down if you wish to. And if a man comes to tell you can't stand up, you say, why? Because I say so. Then there's something wrong with that scenario. You know, if a man says you can't build a house, but he's built a house for himself, but says it's illegal for you to build a house, it's unlawful for you to build a house. Why? He has a sword, and he tells me I can't have a sword, but he has a sword. There's something wrong with that. You know, he says he has children, but he's telling me I can't have children. So I'm going to give you Planned Parenthood. I'm going to give you abortion. I'm going to give you all these different things. I'm going to give you foods that render you infertile. You know, so these are the different things. These things we don't need. But if that's what he wants to do, I say more power to you. Go do your thing. But then when I say that, I know that I have a right to stand up and defend myself. So that's the next question. How do you defend yourself? By having control over your brain, your mind, and having a discipline and understanding that there is raw material and that you do have a right to defend yourself. Now, if you're thinking as an individual, that's good, but it's better to think as a collective because it's the numbers that actually equals self-defense. You know, I can defend myself as one man against one man. But when you have a what you call an industrial complex that's spread out on a global level, that is hell bent on specific destruction of specific elements, then those elements that are targeted for destruction need to grow and make themselves big enough to say, no, this will not happen. It's a natural fact. Fight or flight. It's a natural fact. It's not a threat. It's not a threat to anyone. I mean, I don't feel threatened by Jim Crow.
So, fam, y'all see why I talk to Rara. Y'all see why I talk to this brother. Do y'all see why? Do y'all understand? All right, so I'm bettering myself right now. I'm making that transition. I'm doing it. I'm on it. If y'all look at them previous shows, look at me now. Come on now, let's get it. Come on, I got that fire. I'm ready to get it. Well, we got Geiget right here. Come on, Dr. Clyde, you putting up Geiget?
Oh,
man, I love y'all.
Geiget is it.
Be one. Ashe.
Geiget is it.
Ashe. I love you, brother.
Dr. Clyde, love you, man.
Yes. We love you, Dr. Clyde. Yeah.
He's my bulletproof vest. You know that, right?
Right. Yes, with the knowledge, Dr. Clyde Winter's books is that bulletproof vest. Geiget is your bulletproof vest. When you play our music, it is your bulletproof vest. I'm telling y'all. See, I'm not out here trying to market and go all out and do all. Look, y'all know what pure is? I'm full of it. I give full energy. And I put come on, man, I put my all into this. And my brothers, we put our all, my sisters put they all in it. You know what I'm saying? That's why I presented Sister Andito. That's why I brought this magnificent brother to this platform. I'm not bringing y'all anybody off the street and saying, hey, man, get up here and speak. Nah, we amongst us. And you are me, I am you, we are you. And right now, I am full of fire. flaming over here, man.
Yeah.
V1, baby. Tiger. Come on, man. G.I.J. coming J. We here to spread the word. Thank you, Karen. I love you so much. Karen is always Karen, man.
Infallible.
Come on, man. I love this. This right here makes me fire. This right here is what get me to get my son right. You see what I'm saying?
Let's work together, all of us. All of us work
mind,
together.
Baby. Protect
everybody
the mind.
Watching this broadcast, support
everybody.
Dr. Clyde Winters.
Please,
support
come on, y'all.
Support Gaga. You know, stay tuned. We're going to come with so much more for you. We have our own. And I'm telling you, we do have our own. We have our own. We are united. And we are united without animosity. We have nothing to fight, nobody to fight. We are one. We are one people.
Be one.
We are one people.
Be one, baby. We love y'all. What's up, Dr. Clyde? You got something to say, brother? What's up? You brought the fire out of me, man. Is that what you wanted? Then that's what you got.
You muted, brother.
You muted, brother. Yeah. You muted. Get off of mute. Mute.
You're muted.
Come on. Mute him. Get off of mute.
Muted.
Get off of mute, Dr. Clyde. We got to hear you, man. Off of mute. Get off of mute,
This is for the family, baby.
Come on, man.
We got to get it out here. We got to listen. God.
Come on,
y'all. Liberation is inevitable. Liberation is inevitable.
I love you.
Yeah.
Come from a sunken place. Shadow work will return us back to shape. Even now, they still the best. And I upgraded and I remain the best of best. You can't keep us from thinking. On the cool, we left they ship sinking. No religion, sex addiction, death addiction, drugs addiction, substance, self-help addiction. We're trying to fill in what's missing. Our history, or maybe I'm tripping. All I know is that boy Jesus. Hold on. I'm learning now. I'm learning. So we all make these. I was going through the motion. So I'm learning. I am Christ.
Woo!
I didn't know that at first. I was fear. I was in fear. I didn't know, but I am that. And
welcome
I'm coming
to the
with
club,
it,
brother.
Thank you, because I'm coming back with it, and I know what's going on, and I dig it. You see what I'm saying? I dig it. We have to protect this mind, man. And I know we're going a little bit over, but I'm just saying, man, this is real. Protect the mind, because I left mine open. And somebody was able to go in there and say, sit down for a few. And I wasn't protecting the mind, and therefore, I left everything in my family open. Wolves came in, talking to my son, talking to my wife. Wolves. And they came in.
Wolves in sheep clothing. In sheep clothing.
Come on. And they was talking it, and I was like, yeah, but all alone. But
that was the fire you got to go through.
The mind.
And that was the fire you had to go through.
I had to go through that fire, y'all, to come out to let y'all know, man, look. Y'all need to endorse Dr. Clyde Winters.
Yep.
By any means necessary. If you are not endorsing him, you are
endorsing inferiority.
Thank you. You seen the words come out of my mouth. You endorsing inferiority. Once you endorse this brother, you vote for us.
Yes.
Superiority. Black superiority.
Yep.
Without that vote, you are right along with them, man. I'm being honest. I mean, it's black and white. Come on. Ain't no gray area. You can't have 1 foot in and 1 foot out. We don't play that over here. It's either you're in or you're out. If you're hot or you're cold. Because if you're lukewarm, I'm going to spit you out.
And the difference between black superiority and white superiority is that there is no bloodshed with black superiority.
We don't have to kill nothing to prove.
And history shows that.
Yes.
History shows that.
They had to kill for that atomic bomb, right? To prove that equation. They had to murder people.
But do you know? They couldn't have did that except a brother broke down the atom. They don't ever tell you it was a brother at the University.
Thank you.
I'm not saying he was right.
I'm not saying
he was right. But what I'm saying is this:
it's going to take us.
If you don't try to protect the brain, if you don't try to, in a sense, protect your knowledge, that's it. You know, Shawara, did you want to say give a final comment? and then we're going to protect the brain.
Oh yeah. I'm just saying, thank you so much. It's an honor to be in your presence, Dr. Winters. And it's an honor to be united with Yoshimad on this journey that we're on to bring our people enlightenment. There's so much. This is just the tip of the iceberg. We are here to empower our people. I hope and I pray that all those who were here with us along this little journey, this moment here, that are excited enough to contribute to our, honoring of our own, creating a prize for our own. And I'll be back for sure.
Yes.
Because I need to keep all the guests updated as to what progress I'm making and we're making. And now they can be a part of it all and contribute, and not only contribute, but also benefit. Because I'm into giving. I want the people to know how I'm going to do that. But certain things I'm not going to talk, straight up. But we'll discuss it and show them how they can be a part of it.
Yes.
And that's the name of the game. And hopefully you and Yoshimad might want to develop a course that people can kind of learn more about, how to use the mind and how to be in tune with reality. Yes. But again, it's very important that we protect the mind. I want everybody to take care. And we're going
If you're not going to speak up, you're the ones who do. If you're not going to speak up, you're the ones who do. If you're not going to speak up, you're the ones who do. If you're not going to speak up, you're the ones who do. Vampires, they prey on your fears and stay away. Vampires, they prey on your fears, control your atmosphere. Don't let them take your energy. Don't let them suck control your atmosphere. I am you and control your atmosphere. Don't let them take your energy. Don't let them suck your energy. It's a distraction away from me. I am you and you are me. If you're not going to speak up, you're the ones who do. If you're not going to speak up, you're the ones who do. If you're not going to speak up, you're the ones who do. If you're not going to speak up, you're the ones who do. Nobody but yourself. Don't follow. I said nobody but yourself. Don't follow. Nobody but yourself. Don't follow yourself. Nobody yourself. Nobody but yourself.
thank you, family, for showing up, and we'll get you more information on this theme. And Yoshimad, you outdid yourself today. Thank you for introducing the world to Shaiwara, and because we need this. You guys have a good evening and good night.
Love y'all.
Yeah. Right now, it's time to wrap everything up, you dig?
show. And Dr. Clyde Winters, Then and now. Yeah, I really appreciate everybody. All y'all support. Y'all like, subscribe, and share this. You dig it? Yoshi. You've been invited to the dinner now. Yeah. I hope you enjoyed the dinner now. Yeah. Dr. Clyde Winters in the Yoshi mind. Intro, outro to the dinner now. We gon' see it, so have dinner now. Yeah. Raise your head. Why put them down? B1 on that dinner now. FBA on that dinner now. FBB on that dinner now. It's all about unity on that dinner now. My indigenous folks on that dinner now. All my Africans rise on that dinner now. Rise up on that dinner now. And don't forget to subscribe to dinner now.